Welcome back to the Roll-Toddy Draft Blog. I'm Baker Leyman, joined here by Herbie May, as always, from sunny Destin, Florida. Herbie's on spring break, and I'll be joining him on my own spring break, but in Colorado next week. So, Herbie, how's the weather down in Florida?
It's pretty perfect, buddy. There is no denying Destin is the land of champions. But it's been a great couple days down here, but there's no reason to stay off the internet and talk about some football with you.
Well, glad to have you, and glad to have you take some time out of your busy spring break. I know it's a fun time down there. But let's dive in to this whirlwind day of free agency we saw yesterday. And let's move on to, what do you think was the best move made in free agency yesterday?
So many unbelievable moves yesterday. So many surprising, so many great moves. Ndamukong Suh, the quarterback swap. And in my top one, I had to stick with LeSean McCoy. I think if there's anything and any type of player that can turn around that Bills defense, it's going to be LeSean McCoy. And as of right now, still working out the quarterback issue, but he buys you some time in that offense to be able to establish a run game. That defense, there's nothing wrong with that defense. And I think as of this point, value-wise, I want to say Ndamukong Suh, but I just think they need a bigger offensive weapon to help take them to the next level. So I think if there's anything that can get the Bills to the playoffs right now, it's got to be LeSean McCoy.
Yes, the straight up swap of Kiko Alonso from from Buffalo to Philadelphia for LeSean McCoy certainly blew our minds last week. But yesterday, just kind of focusing on yesterday, I thought it was Jimmy Graham to Seattle for Max Unger, a first-round draft pick, and a fourth-round draft pick. Jimmy Graham being a top-tier tight end, receiving talent, because he's not even really just a tight end. He's a receiving talent. And Drew Brees' top target, I think, will make that Seattle offense just that more dangerous. I think it makes Marshawn Lynch better. I think it makes Russell Wilson better. And I think that giving up one of the better centers in the NFL and a couple draft picks is worth the kind of talent that Jimmy Graham is. The only unfortunate thing is that for New Orleans is that Drew Brees is now starved for some receiving talent, something we haven't really seen in his career in New Orleans. I'm interested to see how the Saints handle that with a second first-round draft pick now. But in a receiver-heavy draft and a draft filled with skill position players, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if there was any time for the Saints to do it, it would be now. Sadly, I see Jimmy Graham being worth way more than moving up that many picks. But you bring in Unger as well, it helps. But it was a tough move for me to see the New Orleans make, because you give Russell Wilson a guy like Jimmy Graham. The possibilities are endless. That duo could be completely unstoppable next season. But I agree with you. I think one of the best moves of the day.
Yeah. I think the Saints were well compensated. I think they'll take advantage of having more salary cap room, something that they definitely didn't have because of that Jimmy Graham deal and Drew Brees' deal. And I'm excited to see what moves the Saints continue to make throughout this offseason. But we're going to have some more quick hitters here on the Roll-Toddy Draft Blog talking about this crazy first day in free agency and a lot more to come in this coming week and the rest of this offseason.